My name is Eric. Here's a few stories have to do with a little bit of, paranormal experiences, I could say. More it's paralyzed, sleep paralysis, uh, for spooky talk. Uh, my first encounter with it was years back. I was about 15, 16 years old. I was in bed. I had my own room. I was just laying down, sleep. And to me, it felt like I was awake, you know? I was just laying down, and all of a sudden, I just feel this huge, like if it was a bat, but larger, just hovered in front of me, real close to my face, real slow. I could feel the negative energy. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. I tried to holler at my mom, my parents, anybody I could not move. You know, that to me was pretty terrifying. It was like if it was like an overgrown bat, if that makes sense, But that was my first experience of many. Um, Trying to think of the worst experience that I've had would have to be in my home. 2015, I had 3 episodes in one night. My first episode, or I can usually tell when I'm getting it. My body starts feeling a little tingly, almost like it's filled with a little bit of an electric feel. I can't explain it. It's just something how my body feels when I'm about to going through this sleep paralysis. Well, I can feel it coming on, and the first thing I see is just darkness, and I just feel like a malevolent energy. And I see a figure by the door. My room is a pretty good sized room. So I see by the door, and I can just see its menacing teeth just kind of like smiling at me or just looking at me. And I'm just scared to death. I'm in here trying to move, trying to wake my wife up, which is sitting sleeping next to me, and I just couldn't. Time goes by, and finally I snap out of it and I wake up, and nothing happened. Nothing's happening. But just the feeling I feel inside is so terrible. I go back to sleep, and here comes the second episode. This time, that entity or whatever it is was on top of my ceiling. If it was like crawling, but on the ceiling and then looking down at me. I mean, if you look up sleep paralysis, or Google it on Google, the first thing you'll see is some kind of entity or demon look figure. And that's exactly what I saw.
Like a
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I knew for some reason I was going to have a third episode. I just knew it. I just could feel it in my body. And I woke my wife up. I was like, hey, this is happening to me. She knows about my experiences about sleep paralysis. So I wake her up. She's like, okay. And I tell her, hey, hold my hand because I figure I'm going to get another episode as soon as I go to sleep. And sure enough, I gave her instructions. So once I fall asleep, if you see me acting weird, looking at something or whatever, wake me up. So I held her hand and I went back to sleep. And sure enough, third episode came and that entity was on my chest. I could feel I could see his face, his teeth. I feel like he was about to bite my head off. But it felt the pressure so horrible on my chest. I feel like something was on top of me, not letting me breathe, just pushing down on my chest. And he wasn't standing on it. He was more like crouched down, his feet, and like this, looking at me. It was horrible. I've never seen anything paranormal in real life ever in my life, but this has to come pretty close to it. And as I'm seeing this creature, I'm struggling to get my wife to move, to wake up, and there's nothing I could do. All of a sudden, I wake up, and it's my wife shining her phone, the light of her phone on my face. And I asked her, hey, what happened? She said, you were pretty much awake, looking straight up, squeezing my hand, but you looked like you were in fear. Like fear was all covered in your face. And that's all I could remember. My last episode that I had, which is the last, and I haven't had any more, is I'd say 2016 or maybe 2017 early. It was in my room, and I could feel the entity just standing next to my bed when I had the episode. But for some reason, this time, I had almost mastered. I wouldn't say mastered, but I could get out of the situation that I was in by in my head thinking that it's not real. And the minute that I thought that it wasn't real, it disappeared, and I woke up.
That was sick, man. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.